Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week I have Michael from the amazing band out of Cleveland, Ohio called Mud Whale. Found him again on my deep dives of searching for good fucking music, and I listened to it more than 5 times, and I said, well, there it is. Here's the next band I got to have on, and reached out, and here's Michael to hang out with us today. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, Shane.
It's our absolute pleasure, especially when I get to have an artist that I truly believe in, that I listen to the stuff over and over and over again and get a chance to pick my favorite songs and send the people and have them check them out. And, you're gracious enough to write back and agree to come on the show. So to me, that's always pretty important, that when people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to tell my story. So thanks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. Anytime. I appreciate you offering. It's good to be here.
So why don't we dive into, I'm sure there's some things going on considering you released a single a couple months back, and so there's new music going on, but why don't you get into the quick history and bio that is Mudwell today?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been in bands since I was like coming into high school. I grew up in Southeast Texas. I got tired of it, moved up to Ohio randomly with a few friends in 2016. Ended up I moved to Cincinnati first, then I moved to Cleveland probably about 8 months after that. And immediately fell in love with the city. Just automatically knew I was going to stay. And so I just got a job, moved in with my partner, and a few months down that road, I just got really antsy and wanted to start playing music again. So I got some people together that I worked with at this place called Barrio. It's a little taco place. And we were just throwing around ideas, and I don't think all of those people really dug what I was trying to do. So I said, okay, screw it. Well, I know I want to do it now. So I went on Craigslist, and I found like the entire lineup of like the first iteration. It used to be called something else. We used to be called Soot Sprites, if you ever watched like Studio Ghibli stuff.
Okay.
Or Ghibli, however you say it. Sorry for anybody who knows how to say it. But yeah, so I found a few guys, and we ended up writing a whole album. And then COVID hit. And while everybody was locked down, we ended up recording all of it. Couple things happened, couple changes happened. The original drummer and the lead guitarist left. And I ended up finding Justin, who's our lead guitarist now, from his band called Portage. And then he introduced me to our drummer now, who is named Avery. And it was like an immediate connection between all of us. I felt like we were firing on all cylinders. So like, I don't know, 3 months into us playing shows together, I was like, yeah, you guys, you can be in the band if you want to. I want you in the band. This is perfect. And then at that point, we had changed our name to Mudwell. We released the first album from the original lineup. And then after that, yeah, we immediately got to writing our latest album, Humans Pretending to Be Humans. And now we've got, I think that was late 2021. So now we're already 4 years in to like this iteration. And yeah, just writing as much as we can and playing as much as we can.
Now, when you got with Justin and Avery and kind of felt this like, wow, this kind of feels where it should be, is that where, because from Everything in Moderation to Humans Pretending to Be Human to your latest single, like there's been this, it's almost like it kind of seems like you found where your sound was supposed to be. When you look at Everything in Moderation to Humans Pretending to Be Human, like there is a little, I don't want to say a drastic change, but there's definitely a change in songwriting, song structure, and everything. So was that kind of like you kind of felt more comfortable in exactly what your vision of Mudwell was going to be?
Yeah, for sure. I used to write, most of my bands were like hardcore metalcore bands. So this was like my first try at whatever this is.
That's gonna be the next question. What is this? What genre
for
is
sure.
this? Yeah.
So yeah, that first album was mostly me. How that whole album was written out, I would have like the main chord progressions, structure, and like vibe of the songs. And then I would bring it to the band and they would just kind of add drums and lead guitar and bass on top of it. And yeah, I think I was still trying to figure things out and exactly what we wanted. Um, and then by the time that Avery and Justin came in, they helped a lot to kind of structure the sound further, help write. It was still Humans Pretending to Be Humans was still a lot of me writing the structure, but they had a lot. They all had a hand in like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Oh, let's try this instead. And I felt like Avery brought a lot more character into the drum parts. Justin is just ridiculous. So like I mean, the stuff that he plays is like just godly. Like I can't fathom how he plays that stuff. So yeah, I think all of that, and then also just me and Joe on bass, just kind of being more comfortable in what we know that people like about us and what we like about us. And also like none of us are just afraid to try things out and experiment. So I think just a combination of all of that, of all of us like kind of getting really comfortable with each other and getting to know each other and how each of us write and play off of each other, I think that's made us grow exponentially. Like I think the sound between humans and the sound between humans and everything in moderation is it's a very noticeable step.
Yeah.
And I think the next album is just going to be a completely, a completely new step up. It's already, getting kind of wild, but
Well, but I also think, I mean, if you go from a point where you're kind of trying to do everything yourself and try to figure it out as you go along, as much as you look at other bands that may have exploded because everybody wanted to have a say, and it was, like you look at certain things, I always say like Smashing Pumpkins, that's Billy Corgan's band, it's nobody else's. Foo Fighters, sure. That's Dave Grohl's band, it's nobody else's. Like no one else in the band really can have that much input. But then there are times when you kind of figure out that, oh my God, it is so much better to work with other people because I myself I can't think like that. And
yeah, for sure.
What they brought just changed everything about what I do. And it becomes this beautiful, it becomes a symphony all of a sudden because you have all these working parts and everyone working in tandem to get the end result.
Yeah, for sure. Like literally all the time while we're writing, every single person, Joe, Avery, and Justin, they always whip something out like just randomly while we're jamming new stuff. And I'm like, dude, I never would have thought of that. And it's so cool. And I think that just comes from all of us having slightly different perspectives and overlapping, but slightly different, like listening experiences to music and living experiences. And yeah, I think that's the best way to write. I think, there's a lot of people that can hold an entire project up, but I'm just not. I don't want to be one of those people. I when I'm in a band, it feels like I'm in a relationship with 3 to 4 to 6 other people, however big the band is. But it feels like this like definitely business related, but also like emotional and personal relationship with everybody. And I think music is such a personal thing, especially when you're the one writing it, that I think it would be a disservice to not have everybody else participate and give their opinions, and it be a democratic process of like, okay, do you like that? Like, where do you think we should go? But yeah, I think that all helps a lot.
Well, let's talk about life and living and listening and things like that. Let's go way back in the time machine and get into when you're a little kid. Mm-hmm. And music kind of first hits you like as a child, whether it's, from Sesame Street or cartoon theme song or something, do you kind of remember the first artist or song as a child that like really piqued your interest with music, like the song that you kept singing over and over again as a child or something? Like there's always that artist that you kind of, it kind of piques your interest in music, and it, you really don't realize, but that laid the foundation to where you are today. Do you kind of remember who, what, where, when, and why?
Not really the first. I know my mom and I always listened to a lot of pop radio. So there was a lot of like, there's a lot of No Doubt. There's a lot of Michael Jackson. There's a lot of, just stuff that was big in that time. My mom listened to a lot of Sting and the Police. My dad listened to a lot of ZZ Top. Honestly, when I first started getting drawn to music that like was stuff on my own, kind of. My brother introduced me to a lot of like rap and hip hop and R&B. And at the same time, I think like some pop punk bands were getting really big on the radio, like Sum 41 and Blink 182 and Green Day. So definitely like bands and artists like that. Like I remember my brother brought home like a mixtape from Mike Jones from Houston, like when he was coming up. And that was pretty crazy to me. Like Birdman, I listened to a lot of Birdman and Twista, and stuff like that. But I'd say like the first one that I really noticed and couldn't get over was probably My Chemical Romance. I think that was my first obsession that really made me go, oh, I want to do that. Like, I want to play guitar. I want to sing. I want to run around on a stage and tackle my friends and writhe around on the ground. And I was completely enamored. Like I had never, that was the first time I found a band that like the radio or my brother didn't show me. I found them on Yahoo Music Videos or whatever the platform was back in the day when I was in middle school. Them and Coheed and Cambria. I think that really started my trajectory to liking like guitar-based music and wanting to perform.
Wow. Yeah, I've always, and I completely get, I was too old for My Chemical Romance when they hit. Like I had already gone through this major burst of, I forget, what are we on, the 37th wave of emo or whatever?
Probably,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like I was already like, so when it hit, and I'm lucky that I have friends who, will just put me in my place with stuff where I'm like, I just don't get it, man. Like I don't like, and my buddy who is, a musician, still writes music, still records records. And he's like, dude, you got to understand, for some people, My Chemical Romance are the fucking Beatles. He's like, and it's just because when it hits you, it hits you.
Yeah.
He goes, and that's just it. He's like, that's why, like, you look at people that are like, everybody's favorite band is the Beatles. And it's like, well, how is it the fucking Beatles? And it's the same thing, but, it's almost one of those things too. Like, I'm not a Beatles fan at all, but I get it. And my thing with My Chemical Romance was like, I still don't get it. Like, they got some bangers. And then I was just like, was it the uniforms? Was it no one can really, they're like, oh dude, the music's just great. And I'm like, I need more of an explanation. It's like when,
for sure.
It's like when someone's like, dude, I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan. I'm like, well, tell me why. And they're like, oh dude, if you've ever went to their live show, you would understand. I go, no. So you like the experience, you don't like the music. Like there's a difference here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my curmudgeonly old man. Like I wish I would get it, because so many people fucking love them and hold them on this high pedestal. And I listen, they're royalty. They're from like the fucking town over here. But it's like, I'm like, oh, man, at like fucking Giant Stadium. Like I couldn't believe, like, wow, they're fucking holding court in Giant Stadium. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's wild, doing entire plays. Like it's wild. I think it was a mixture of things, like for me, I was the perfect age. Like I was getting into like being a little scene kid and like dressing more punk, and like they made me want to dye my hair black, and there was like the angst. There was just like, I don't know if like I think they really appealed to like theater kids too, because they have like a lot of theatricals in their lyrics. and in their like music videos and their imagery. And I just think the lyrics were very, they're well thought out. He's a very unique vocalist, and he's got some screams in there, and like, yeah, I don't know. I think it was just a certain time, and I don't know. I there's just a magneticism about them for me, especially with I brought you my bullets, or you brought me your love, I brought you my bullets. Sorry, I can't remember exactly what it's called, the second album. But yeah, that was just it was wild to me. I remember the first time I watched Helena, I was like, it was like in the middle of the night at my friend's house. And I pulled up the music video, and the dead lady dancing was like kind of scaring me. And I was like, okay, I really like this song, but I can't watch this right now. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Like, I watched it during the daytime, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is fine. This is really cool. I really like this song. And then I like dove into them. But
yeah, that's I completely can understand why people did fall in love with them from that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, like, I look back at it too, as like, there might have been, like, I gotta say, there was probably in my life, like, there was like this 3-year gap where like my music taste drastically went in a different direction for some reason.
For sure.
I think it was kind of like a reset button that I needed, because I was so into punk and hardcore and emo, and I was like so into it that I needed to find like a new direction.
Yeah.
And I think that was the exact time when I started getting in the bands like Idlewild and Creeper Lagoon, and like, oh, this like Scottish fucking thing that was going on with all these like I like really sunk my teeth into that. And I think that's why like I missed that whole timeline of like the My Chems, the Census Fails, the Thursday, the Taking Back Sunday. Like I just missed out on it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that makes total sense, because that was my introduction to all of that. And then from, them and Coheed and The Used, I started listening to more like hardcore and heavier punk and like metalcore stuff. And I got into deathcore, and like, yeah, that was like my introduction. So that's where I jumped on the train. So no, that totally makes sense why you were like, all right, I'm done. Like, like you guys have fun. I'm gonna go listen to this stuff.
Yeah, I think it was like, okay, I need a break. I need to find some new adventure to go on, because it was just like getting it to be almost like it was the same thing over and over. I'm just like, okay, I need a,
for sure.
Like the first Coheed, I remember getting the first Coheed record when I found it, and I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of years later, like, oh, you hear this band Coheed in the whatever the second album was, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I got the first album. I'm out for now. Like, I've moved on to something else at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But and you said seeing My Chem made you want to like play music and rock out. So were you playing music previously to that, or was that the moment where you're like, I really want to like get a guitar and learn how to do something?
Yeah, no, that was literally I like had gotten into them, and then I think like a few weeks later I saw a live video of them playing, and I saw Frank Iero tackling Gerard on the floor, and Frank was just like literally like running in circles on the ground and still playing all of his parts super clean, and I was like, oh, that's performing. I was like, I don't have anything like that. Like that man is completely plugged in to the electricity of being alive. And I was like, that's what I want. And then from there, like, I think I must have been in, I think I was in 8th grade. And then I just kind of started to get together friends that I knew kind of listened to similar things, and we had a talent show. So we were like, yo, let's get a band together.
What'd you name that band?
Song. Oh, I don't remember.
You gotta remember your first band name.
Oh, I remember the band that stemmed from that band was called Before the Lights Fail.
That's that's actually really fucking good as opposed to some of the things we get here. Wow, that's fucking great for kids to come up with
I
that.
thought about it for a long time. But yeah, so we played Brain Stew by Green Day, and we were the only band that played that year. We were the only band that ever played the talent show. They saved us for last, and like everyone went nuts. And like we had an auditorium of like 300 kids, and they were throwing up. They were trying to throw up the rock fingers, the devil horns,
Okay.
but some of them were throwing up the like gnarly, like California, like thumb and pinky,
Yeah.
like as the rock fist. But anyways, we ended up winning the talent show, and that was like it. I was like, all right, like I gotta keep doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're like, I'm a star now. So
right. Yeah. I'm like, that was what Frank was feeling when he was writhing around on the ground. So yeah, me and the drummer from that kind of played in bands for throughout high school and a couple years after high school. Yeah, for like 6 years after that, we were playing like scene punk, emo, third wave emo stuff, like Mike Kim and stuff like that. And then we made like a Christian metalcore band with a whole bunch of synths and screaming. That was called In Search of Mercy.
Oh,
yeah. And then we changed the lineup a little bit and went more like beat down, like I don't even know, like Gideon and kind of like Kublai Khan, stuff like that. And that was called Hollow Vessels. And we did that for a while. That was a really good time.
All right. So watching all the stuff and then playing, your talent show and everything, like, do you remember, because sometimes it can be different, do you remember the first concert you ever went to and then the first one you ever got to choose to go to?
Oh, the first one I remember, I think it was like technically a rodeo. And I think it was something my sister wanted. No, you know what? No, it was a country concert. It was some country artist that my mom and dad wanted to see. Probably like Tim McGraw or I don't know, something like that.
I get it. Mine was Kenny Rogers. So
yeah, heck yeah. That's a great first concert. And then I think the first one I chose to, I think I was like early on in high school, and somebody asked me to go to like a VFW show from some locals. I don't remember who those locals were, but I remember it being a really good show, and I was like, yo, this is cool. And then right after that, I think the first big show I remember going to and choosing to go to was who was it? I think it was Fall Out Boy, Cobra Starship, and From First to Last was opening. And that was wild because From First to Last opened, and I jumped in my first pit, and I was wearing etnies, and I lost one of them. And I could not, nobody helped me could not find it. And then when Fall Out Boy started playing, I started seeing people throwing it across the room. And it was a big venue. So I was like, that's my shoe. And no one cared. No one heard me. So I like limped out of there. But it was great. I loved it. I thought it was so fun.
I love your first big one and you lose a shoe.
Yeah.
That's memorable.
Yeah. I tied my shoes real tight after that.
How about a show that you saw that you'll just like, will never forget it?
Ooh, there's a couple. For a while, my favorite show was, crap. It was Oh Brother, Balance and Composure. Oh my gosh, Touche Amore and Circus Survive. And that was the first time I'd seen or even heard of Oh Brother, Balance and Composure and Touche Amore. And it was just like, it was the best sounding, the most like these are the sounds that like I am so into right now, and that's what I want to write. Just like the most inspiring show I had ever been to at that point. And then, but now that has been overshadowed by I've seen Deftones twice this year on their world tour or whatever it is, full
Yeah.
U.S. tour. And that blew me away. I saw them in Columbus in I think March or April or something like that. And I was just like, kind of just like a semi-casual fan. I liked them in passing, and my friends wanted to go. And I was like, yeah, they might do this tour and be done. Like, it's been a while, so I'll go see them. Absolutely blew me away. Like, best light show I've ever seen from Mars Volta, who played before them. Like, that lighting director needs a raise. Like, he is a genius. Like, that whole, whoever the team was that built that show is ridiculous. And then Deftones, the sound, I don't think they've ever sounded better. I've seen a lot of videos of them before, like 2020, and it was rough. And I don't think they've ever sounded better. Chino was like running around the stage like a madman. It was crazy. Their light show was ridiculous, and their iMac work with like their live cameras and embedding it into the video that's going on in the background of each song. Like, I've never seen a video team implement things like they're doing right now, and it's just it's crazy. Like, it made me get obsessed over them, and then come back and see them when they came through Cleveland like a week ago, and both shows are probably the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, they've really, for a long time. I mean, I was around when they first popped up and how big they were, and I think they hit a lull, and Chino was going through some shit, and he lost a lot of weight, he got back into things, and I can't speak more highly about the new album, Private Music. Like, I think I was out for a long time. Like, I'd seen them a couple of years ago, saw them again, and it was like, I'm like, oh man, they've really found their stride. And I'm also happy that they've kind of starting to get their flowers that they deserved a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they're kind of getting like all this love and notoriety now, like 30 years later. Like, for me, it's like, it's 25 years too late, but at the same time, what they just did with Private Music, I wasn't excited for the new album, and I was hosting a listening party at the store the day of the album release, and I was like, it's probably just going to be another Deftones album. Like, everything's going to be in drop D, it's going to be droney, and I'm just going to be like, all right, it's another Deftones album, let's go on to the next. And I didn't listen to it until the listening party started. So, like, the album came out in the morning, it actually got sent to me like 3 days before, and I still refused to listen to it. And I was like, I'm going to listen to it for the first time with all these people that love them. And through the first listen of the album, I was like stopped in my tracks, and I was like, do I like this? And then we had another session, listened to it again, and I was like, oh, no, I don't like this. I fucking love this. Like, I give them so much credit because they did so many different things on this album that I didn't expect from them. Like, I just did not expect to have like one song sounded like a My Bloody Valentine song. One song sounded like Smashing Pumpkins. One song sounded like a Nine Inch Nails song. And I was just like, I was not expecting this at all. I'm like, fuck yeah. Now I'm all in again. Like,
hell yeah.
You just got me back. And I'm like, man, that's so good. And I give them so much credit, and I'm so happy for them, and like so proud that they can still be doing this and pulling in people. Like, to me, that's tremendous.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
they don't need my love, but I mean, I give
I'm
the
sure
credit
they
where credit's
appreciate due. But yeah, it is cool to finally see them getting their flowers, because like, yeah, those shows were huge. There were so many people, and like the other thing was like I said, the first time that I saw them in March. I didn't know really what was. I mean, there was a lot of songs that I was familiar with, but like they ended up playing new songs, and I didn't even know at the time that they were new songs. And this was like way before it was out, or they started releasing. I think they just started releasing. I think they released their first single like a few weeks after that show that I saw them. And it's so funny because once the album came out and I listened through it, I could pinpoint exactly which songs they played at that show months before. And I was like, that's never happened to me. Like Mars Volta played their entire new album.
Yeah.
I probably couldn't point them out, even though they probably played the album in full, like
Yeah.
in order.
Yeah.
But like with them, like even my friend who knew Deftones for a long time, and have loved them for a long time, I was like, no, they played these shows. I mean, they played these songs. Like, I know they played the song. I remember them starting it, and I remember thinking, whoa, this sounds really good. I don't know what this is. I need to go back and listen to them. And like,
Yeah.
and they were just like, oh, no, I don't think they played that. I'm like, no. And then I went on their set list on Spotify. I was like, yeah, they played. Yeah, it's just so memorable and so good. And it's really cool to see them still have it after all this time and being in their stride and getting their flowers. Like I just hope they can keep going and keep loving it, because it seems like they're also having a good time. Like the whole time, both shows, Chino is just smiling from ear to ear. And yeah, I think they see it too. So
Yeah, and I think I've seen that a lot lately with a lot of artists that have been around for a while. Like recently, there's been some like great moments of, I remember going to these shows and seeing these artists, and like they weren't happy. Like you could tell like they weren't happy. And now to see like, I go out and see Sunny Day Real Estate, and Jeremy Innick was notorious for never smiling and like never really giving anything to the crowd, just playing the songs. And then the past like 3 years of seeing him, he's always got a smile on his face and he's always talking now. And I think it's because they're kind of starting to see that how much they were beloved.
mm-hmm.
But like you look at something too, like back in the day when they're coming up and people are falling in love with them, no one had money to go to shows. No one, you had a job where you barely made fucking minimum wage and you couldn't afford to go to a show. Even if the show was $25, that $25 in 1999 was a lot of fucking money to skip out on something else. So like people weren't going to shows. And now that they're playing shows, like, and same thing with Deftones, like, and you see there is a younger crowd but you should get that older contingency of like, I just tell people all the time, I'm just a child with adult money now.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a lot different. I can go to every show I want to if I really want to go.
Yeah.
So, I don't have to pick and choose. So I think they're starting to see that too. Like, oh shit, people do really, really appreciate us. And it makes them understand that, oh man, everything we did was worth it. We didn't know at the time, but now we know. So it makes them happier when they're on stage.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's get into your performances and concerts. Is there a moment or a performance of your personal performance somewhere that just sticks in your head for all the wrong reasons? It's like it creeps up. And I always look at it, you can look at it this way too, is like, if you have a bad live performance, you can always go back and say, well, at least it wasn't that. And I want to know what that was.
The most recent one was Excellency Fest in Bay City, Michigan. God, that was in this old Masonic temple in the middle of the summer, and they didn't have any central air, and it was just it felt like we were just all in hell suffocating. Like it was not a fun time. It was the funnest unfun time I've ever had, if that makes sense. Like I still had a good time, especially when we finally played our set at the end of the day. Like that was still really fun, but it was absolute torture. And I hope next year they can do something different, because they've been doing it for a little while. And I think that was also like a record-setting day for the heat index in Bay City. So that didn't help. But like, yeah, that was pretty bad. And then before that, like the worst show experience I've ever had, it was with that first like kind of Christian metalcore scene core band, In Search of Mercy. We were playing this show with a band who our scene really loved from Houston, called like Starfighter or something like that. They're really cool. And then the headliner was this like radio, like big label Christian rock, like soft metal band, like kind of alternative.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I My brain always goes to Red, but it wasn't Red because these guys were like slightly underneath them, but close to that. And I had heard of them before, but I don't remember them, probably because of this situation. But so it was a small stage. I'd say maybe like 5 feet in depth. And we were setting up, we were sound checking. We were in like late high school, maybe mid high school at this point. We're sound checking. The vocalist from the big band headlining comes in and he's eating cookies. He's offering us some cookies, being really chill, being really nice. And at first we were like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. We're really excited for this show. It was like one of the biggest shows we'd ever play at that point. And then like 30 seconds later, who I thought was their like the band manager just storms in yelling, just acting like things are the most ridiculous thing he's ever seen. And he's like, no, we're getting our shit on stage, we're backlining, they need to move their shit. And we're just like, oh, okay, that's how it's gonna go. So they put all of their like big tour rig on stage, so we literally had like 6 inches to stand and move around and play. And so I was like, whatever, man, it's gonna be fine, we can deal with it. And then we open the show, we start playing. My other guitarist breaks a string. Somebody gives him a string, he retunes it real fast. I break a string and like nobody would give me a string. And then I run back like into the gear room where everybody has their gear. And this headlining touring band has like probably at least 6 tour boats, like carrying cases of like 8 guitars.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, like you won't let me use one of your guitars. I understand I'm a child, but like you don't have a pack of strings that you can give me. So like even that was pissing me off. So change my string real fast. It's the wrong gauge, so it's just getting detuned the entire show. And like 2 songs after that, my other guitarist breaks another string. So he just throws down his guitar and he jumps in the pit. And so he's just moshing while we play. And so like we finish the set, it's whatever. And then I go in the back and I'm sitting in this tiny room where all the gear is, trying to put my guitar up. And like my case is on my lap and it kind of goes near one of the guitar boats. It doesn't touch it at all. But then that guy who I'm thinking is the band manager or tour manager runs in and starts like yelling at me like, oh, do you know how much this guitar is fucking worth? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, get away from our guitars and shit like that. And I was just like, bro, like you are the worst person I've ever met up at this point. Like
very
you
Christian
are
rock,
ruining my life right now.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because everybody watched the Starfighter or whatever their name was. And then like half the crowd left by the time this touring band came on to headline. And then I saw them all get on stage and I'm like, oh, that wasn't the band manager, that was the rhythm guitarist. And I was like, yeah, dude, y'all suck. So then like we watched like 30 seconds and then we walked out too and hung out outside. And yeah, that was the worst show I've ever played for sure.
Wow. Yeah, see, that's what I look for when I ask those questions. That's what I look for.
I wish I could remember their name, but honestly, I'm glad I forgot them.
All right. Now let's say you're sitting in front of David Geffen and you can only play him one song it's currently released out into the world that anyone can find, but you can only play him one Mudwell song. What song are you playing for him?
Oh gosh. One that's already released.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hard because I feel like I'd want to skew it to something that he might like. It would either be it would either be Fluorescent or Decay and Bloom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you say either one of those are your favorite song you've released to date, or do you have another song that you would say is like your favorite song you've released to date?
It goes back and forth for me between Fluorescent and Part of Me, for sure.
Nice. Now, like, is there significance to either one of those songs of why they're so special to you that you want to share with us?
Fluorescent for a couple reasons. I just feel like it's like I feel like it's a really good distillation of the sound that I've always wanted, like an angstier, like heavier Circa Survive, with some really fun effects. We did some really cool like tremolo stuff with the guitar at the beginning, and in the verses. And then the end of the song is I say it's a melodic trap beat. I'm not like well versed in a lot of genres of like electronic music and beats, so I might be wrong. Sorry, but I call it a melodic trap beat. And the vocalist from my hardcore band helped write that with me. I sent him the intro guitar part that we have on the song, and I was like, dude, I think you could make like a really cool beat to this, because he was doing a whole bunch of like bedroom beat stuff for some rappers and hip hop artists at that time, and then he sent what is now the outro of that song to me, and I was like, dude, this is absolutely perfect. Like, you nailed it. Like, no notes. So that was really cool. That was a really cool like big circle moment for me, because I got to like do this weird thing that's not in a lot of like alternative emo music. And then also I got to include like my friend who I'd played music with like all of my formative years and one of my childhood friends in this new project. Yeah, so it was just a cool mesh of worlds and sounds and stuff. So that was fun. And then Part of Me, man, that was just that was another one where I was really happy with like the vibe of the song, and I feel like it captured what I was going for. But it also came together like we had pretty much finished writing the album before like and started recording things, and then like this Part of Me, the guitar, the whole like bassist structure guitar part of the song came to me in like a night. Like I finished it in like an hour. It just like fell out of me. And then the lyrics, I think I finished the next night. And that's weird for me because I am not a vocalist first. I am or a lyricist. I'm a guitarist, and like I am the vocalist from like out of need. And so it takes me a long time usually to finish writing vocals and lyrics. And like again, that just fell out of me. And it's like it's about just like being really close to somebody, and you know both of your lives just kind of end up going in a different way, and you might not have wanted it to, and but you still feel a lot of love for that person, and you just kind of come to acceptance that like maybe you're not in each other's lives anymore, but like they'll always be a part of yours, and you always share those experiences, and they're always going to have a part of you. Yeah, it's just about that. So that always gets me whenever I sing about it, just because there's a lot of close friends I used to have, and we just life got in the way, and we still talk every now and then, but
Yeah.
we don't get to hang out like we used to. We all have different lives, and
yeah, that's that's the hard part about growing up.
Yeah.
is that, and I always look at past relationships or friendships that friendships are still there, but you may not have the same amount of time with them or get to talk to them, but it's a true friendship when like you can call that person and it seems like you talked yesterday, and it's been
for sure.
fucking a year. Like that's always the ones where like you go back to like, all right, yeah, there's nothing wrong that we haven't. It's life got in the way, and it moves really fast, and fuck, we got to make more time for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, big day in your life is a day that you get your driver's license and you get freedom, right?
Yeah, sure.
You get this freedom, and you want to rush out and go pick up a friend and go for a ride in your car because you just got your license. Do you remember what you were listening to in that first car ride?
Oh, the first car ride. What was I listening to? Honestly, it was probably Coheed and Cambria, because I played the heck out of Burning Star 4. It was probably that, or maybe oh gosh, what was that? It's not The Story So Far. Who is the other band that had like story in the name? Story of the Year. I think that was them.
Okay.
Yeah, probably that. It could have also been like, I don't think it was Yellow Card.
It all makes sense, like that timeline there is,
Yeah. And then once we got into Under Oath, there was a lot of, honestly, that was one of the earlier albums that we were blasting in my car. I think it was either Sound of Separation or Define the Great Line. I think Sound of Separation was closer to when I got my license. But yeah, we were heavy into Under Oath at that point.
Were you ever listening to an album in your car, CD, that was so bad you threw it out the window because you never wanted to hear it again?
Oh, have I? I don't think so. Maybe some of the early, like, was it Pure Noise who did those compilation CDs? That
they did
would
a
like,
lot of them.
That they would like hand out.
Pure Noise did it. Polyvinyl did it.
I know a lot of record labels did it, but I specifically remember when I was in high school. What was the record label with the like bulldog on it? Was that Pure Noise?
I don't know, because it was just PN, I think. What was Pure Noise? It was just a big sloppy PN they did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember. I thought it was like a blue. Victory Records. That's what it
Victory.
was.
Yeah.
It was probably a Victory Records like artist comp.
Yeah. And Victory was all over the place with the artists that they had on there.
Yeah, they're just trying to grab anybody that that didn't know what they were doing, probably. And some people who did know what they were doing.
There were some, because one of my favorite bands of all time was on Victory at one point.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. They had a really stacked writer for a while.
Yeah, but they did go off the rails, and they did try to sign everybody, and there was a lot of not good music on Victory for a while.
Yeah, it happens.
All right. Who's the band in your life that you constantly turn to, never let you down, always there when you need their music? And, like I just said, one of my favorite bands, like it could be your favorite band, but like that band that never lets you down, that you constantly want to listen to when you don't know what to listen to.
It used to be Circus Survive for a really, really long time. And I think right now, definitely Rainbow Kitten Surprise is one of them. I love their stuff a lot. Yeah, I'll go with Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Nice. I like that. I remember when they came out and I found their music and I was like, man, these guys are special. There's going to be something going on with these guys. And then I started showing it to people, and people were like, I just can't get past the name. And I'm like, don't worry. I'm just like, listen, RKS. Like, this is the new band RKS. Let's listen to this. And they're like, yeah, it sounds too much like a Korean pop music name now. I'm like, all right, just call it. We can't just call it Rainbow, and I can't call it Kitten. So like, this is Surprise. All right, let's listen to this. And people were still like, dude, the name just doesn't work. Like, all right. So then I just started putting it on and not telling people what it was, and wait for them to fucking say, hey, what is this? I'm like, it's Rainbow Kitten Surprise, guys.
Right. And then they're like, oh, that's such a weird name, and then it sticks.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my partner Jess showed me How to Friend Love Freefall, and I was like, I think this is the greatest thing that has come out this year, maybe in the past 10. Like, I love it front to back. It like immediately grabbed me. Did you ever hear about how they came up with their name?
No.
they were like in college and they were playing out at like open mic nights and just like random bars and just playing wherever they could. And I think it was a night when they were playing an open mic night for specifically for bands or something like that. And the person running it as they were signing up was just like, well, what's your name? You have to have a name. And they were like, I don't know. And then they just like sent one of their friends over to write it down, I think, or maybe it was somebody from the band. And they panicked and just wrote the three things that came to the top of their head. And that was Rainbow Kitten Surprise. And then they're like, yep, that's it. We're sticking with it.
Yeah. Well, and then you get stuck with it forever.
Yeah.
Then you become really good at what you do, and now you're stuck with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. How about something you listen to after like all the bands and music we've talked about today? Something you listen to that people would be really surprised you get tons of enjoyment out of listening to, and you really, really enjoy it. People call it a guilty pleasure. I call it, that thing that surprises people when they catch me listening to it.
Oh, I was just thinking about this the other day, that something I was listening to was a guilty pleasure. Not that I'm really guilty about anything that I listen to. Avery showed me the new Miley Cyrus album, and it's really freaking good. I was like, we listened to the whole thing front to back, and I was like, this is the best thing I've heard from Miley in probably ever as like a full project.
I get it.
Yeah, I'd say Miley's new album.
I say, and I give like great vocalists. And I always compare, and I tell people, I'm like, if you sit down and listen to like Stevie Nicks solo stuff, and then you listen to Miley Cyrus solo stuff, I'm like, it's one and the same. She's this generation Stevie Nicks
for sure. Yeah, point blank. That is a great a great connection line, because like you could tell Miley listens to a lot of Stevie too.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, we're gonna bring this down a little bit, get a little sad here. All right, you got 5 minutes left to live. Meteors hurling into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to one song and one song only. What song you're listening to?
That's hard. Just to like fit the moment, probably God, what's that Radiohead song where people usually slow run to? Why can't I think of exit music for a film? Probably that.
That's a good choice.
I just feel like it would fit the moment perfectly, and it's 4 minutes 27 seconds long, so it gives me 30 seconds to get to the computer.
Yeah. to find the song and load it up. That's why mine's already just loaded up.
Heck yeah.
It's one song, it's sitting there on a playlist. Last song I listened to. Like,
I
it's
love
just
that.
Locked and loaded. Last song.
I love that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
If it was probably something I just was listening to for comfort, oh God, I don't even know. Probably, probably something from Circus Survive. Actually, I would say, yeah, probably Stop the Fucking Car. I think that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Nice. All right, now, unfortunate thing happens, and your house is struck by lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Starts to go ablaze. All living things, people and creatures and pets and everything, are out completely safe. And you have a minute to run back in to grab one musical item, whether it be a concert t-shirt, poster, instrument, record, something that means the most to you. What's that one item that you're rushing back in and grabbing?
Oh, my first inclination was just my main electric guitar. But I'd probably grab the test pressing for humans, pretending to be humans. Because that was pretty big for us. We really did not think that one would be possible, but two, it would just make any sense for us to do a vinyl. And now we're
out of it.
Yeah. Now we're sold out, and we're on our second pressing. So yeah, I'd say that test pressing.
Nice.
For sure.
I love that. I love that answer. All right. Well, we're coming in on our time slot here. And, before we move on to our final segment, which is our weekly threes, where you have been on before for us. But I'd love to give you an opportunity right now to tell your fans and your new fans that you're going to get from the show exactly how it is to find what you're doing, how to keep up with what you're doing, and just how to support the band.
Yeah, for sure. You can find us on all social media at Mudwhale, one word, no space. Justin, our actual name does have a space. And we're on all streaming platforms. We're on Bandcamp. We have plenty of merch on Bandcamp.
Awesome. Well, we are in our weekly 3 segment. It is 3 things that you're listening to that you would like people to check out. You'll give 3, then I give my 3.
Cool. I would say there's a band I think they're from Cincinnati. They're called Touchdown Jesus. They're amazing. There's this band I just found this week called Fabulist. And what's it? Local from Cleveland. They're called Beehive Ski Race, all one word.
Wow. These fucking names, man. It's hard to keep up with. Like,
you got to come up with original names nowadays because most names have like 4 bands attached to them, so they're just gonna keep getting crazier.
Awesome. Well, good 3. Here's my 3 for this week. My first one is an artist called Mini Trees.
Ooh, yeah, Mini Trees are cool. I've heard
new track out called Burnout. She's an LA-based indie rock, the likes of Julian Baker. Number 2 is a emo-ish punk band from Michigan called Liquid Mike. They have an album that recently dropped called Hell is an Airport. I saw them open for the Descendants recently, and then I went in to listen to all their recorded stuff, and they just so happened to just drop a new album, and it is fantastic. So please go check that out.
I can concur. I just listened to the record a couple days ago. It's really good.
Really good. A lot better than they sounded at the Wellmont in Jersey, because the Wellmont has some of the worst fucking sound in the world. But anyway. And last but not least is an artist that goes by the moniker of Searows. That's Searows. Name of the EP is called Flush. It's like indie folk from out in Oregon. So, but those are my 3 for this week.
Heck yeah, good 3.
Yeah, and Searows, I'll say, like, kind of sounds like the new Ethel Cain record. So,
oh, cool! Heck
like
yeah, I love Ethel Cain.
Yeah, so if you like that, you'll like Searows.
Ooh, little leak for you and whoever's listening. We might be doing an Ethel Cain cover. Who knows?
So that is happening then. Nice little brush there. But Michael, before we get going here, I want to say, I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Thank you so much, not only for spending your time with me here for this hour of the show, but for also like making the music that drew me to you. That is so important. I want you to know what you're doing is important. I want the rest of the band to know what they're doing is important, because it drew in some old guy from North Jersey who owns a fucking record store to you because the music was so good. So, I want to say thank you so much for creating that music that created us the time to be able to do this and form a nice little bond and hopefully get people to fall in love with you even more outside of the music that you're creating.
Oh, thanks, man. That means the world. And I want to thank you for reaching out to us and spending the time with me and spending all of the time that you do giving back to the scene. So yeah, thanks for everything, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And everybody out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Mudwhale, and have a great fucking time. Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.